guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For all the people that have subscribed, hey, thank you for coming back and watching this video. And for the new people that haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. Also, I have a link in the description that will take you to all my other social media platforms if you want to follow me on those. But today I just really wanted to talk about what to expect within the 1 month of post-op. So before we actually get into like my overall reaction of the VSG surgery within that month, because I really want to talk about the 1 month, like what that all entails, because you got to realize you're still healing from that. You know, within that 1 month you are still healing, so you're not really doing too much. You're mostly resting, drinking your water, and getting your exercise in. And what I mean by exercise, I mean walking more. So after my surgery, I told you I went to my mom's house. So within that week, I want to talk about my weight, because in the beginning, before my first month, I weighed myself weekly just to see how fast it would come off. So after surgery, well, before surgery, I was 280 pounds. So that next week, which was 1 week, I lost 10 pounds. So I was at 270 pounds within 1 week. That shocked me because I've never lost that much in 1 week. And then a couple of days later, I had my first doctor appointment. And then on top of that, my first doctor appointment, I had lost 5 more pounds. So it was probably like 10 days after surgery. So within 10 days, I had lost 15 pounds. So 280, 270, 265 for the first appointment. And then when I actually got to my second week, I was 262. And so by the time I got into my third week, I was at 254. And when I actually got to my 1 month, I had actually gained weight. Now that was a game changer, because it was like, huh? How did I manage to gain weight when I'm supposed to be losing it? So at 1 month, I was 260 pounds. So I had gained 6 pounds. But week three was actually my second appointment. So when you go back for your second appointment, which is, yeah, roughly around 3 weeks, like right at the end, probably like a couple of days, maybe a week, depending on your doctor, they actually change what you eat. So remember, your first doctor appointment, they took you from just straight liquids and they put you on soft food, which is tuna fish, your protein shakes, your egg, cheese. Forgot about cheese. So eggs, cheese, and tuna was what my doctor prescribed for, like soft foods, and of course Jello and stuff like that. So you gotta realize your body going from eating soft foods and just liquids to, when you get to your second appointment, you get to the point of where you can eat like chicken, dark meat. Dark meat digests quicker than white meat. So you go from eating soft foods to eating chicken, seafood, turkey, fish. So you still got the same portion size, which is what they say is the golf ball size. So that was the third week change, second post-op. And you basically do that for a month. So your month 1 and month 2, they keep you within that range of liquid, soft foods, and your chicken, turkey, seafood, and all that. So when looking back on it, yeah, I kind of dabbled a little bit too much, but yeah, I gained 6 pounds, but that next weigh in, I actually dropped down to 248 pounds. So even though I gained 6 pounds at 1 month, I lost it again. I lost, what is that? Go from 260 to 240. So I lost 12 pounds. So I was like, I mean, I'm okay with it. And also at that time, I'm a seafood lover. Like, I kind of overdid it with the seafood. And as far as like, not just like forcing it down, but more of like not eating like just a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was kind of snacking in between. And that's when I realized, I was like, no, you don't need to do that. You trying to get this weight off. You trying to lose weight, not just lose a little bit and then gain it back. Because, I mean, VSG, it's a quick fix, but it's also a life change. And maybe some people might agree with me with that, some don't, because every VSG is not successful. And so, as of right now, I'm still early on. So, I'm still losing weight. So, I don't really know. Well, of course, I'm not going to know what my outcome is. But I hope to get better with my lifestyle changes and stuff like that. In which everybody should. But, within that 1 month, even though my weight, it dropped and went up a little bit, I was still feeling good. I felt myself getting more energy back. I felt myself being able to run up the steps again. Like, it got to a point where I got to probably like 5 steps from the top, and I'm just breathing like really, really heavy. It had got to that point. But since I had lost all that weight, it got better. I was able to breathe more, and I was able to actually run up the steps without even breathing hard. It was like a brisk walk up the step. I know it's kind of crazy. I'm like, but it didn't affect me as much. So I guess that's kind of like a good pro to the surgery. So for the second appointment, it was just the basic, making sure you was okay, making sure that you was losing weight, making sure that you didn't have any hernia, any issues with your surgery, your incisions, or it was just basically just a overall check. And that's basically what the second appointment is too. And the second appointment is for you to for them to tell you, hey, you can transition over to a different food now. So, and I also wanted to mention, it might be a little bit TMI, but when you're on this liquid diet, some of you can relate, some of you probably can't, but you probably, as a person, everybody's not the same, so you probably a person that do number 2 every day or multiple times of the day. And me, I was a person that did number 2 multiple times of the day. And when I actually got on that liquid diet, I didn't do number 2 until maybe a day or 2 before my appointment. Like, I had not did number 2 at all. And I didn't realize it until I had to do number 2 that, I haven't did number 2 in like, a week or 2? Maybe a week, a couple of days, like a week and a half or something like that. And even with the soft food diet that I was on within the first 2 weeks, it was probably like every other day or maybe every 2 days that I actually did number 2 when I was on soft foods. And eventually it worked up to every day. And as of right now, it's sometimes it's every day, and then sometimes it's like every other day. So it just really all depends on what you eat. But yeah, don't be surprised when you don't do number 2. So that was kind of funny. Well, it was kind of weird. But I actually told my doctor, I was like, oh my gosh, I finally did number 2. And they weren't phased by it, but okay. It was like, oh, okay. um, so I also wanted to talk about like some of my, I guess I could say side effects, but I can also say that they was kind of some scary moments. And I'm not sure if a lot of you guys heard about it, but I really didn't know nothing about it until I got to doing some more research for myself. And um, but yeah, so when I got back to my apartment, I experienced dumping syndrome. And at that moment, I didn't really know what it was. At that moment, I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was just, just having bad reactions or something like that. But dumping syndrome, oh my gosh, it's a lot to unpack. So with the dumping syndrome, there's two forms of it. It's a early dumping syndrome, and then it's a late dumping syndrome. So the early one is kind of like 30 minutes ish after you eat a meal that is high in sugar and high in fat type meal. And then the late is more of like a couple of hours later. So when I went through my episode of the dumping syndrome, it was an early form. The two times that I had it, they both have been early forms of the early stage of the dumping syndrome. And I don't even know how to really explain it, but it just mostly it hits you like a ton of bricks. It doesn't really give any warnings or anything like that. You know how you feel something coming on, or your body just aching or something like that, and then sometimes it goes away, sometimes it don't. But as far as like the dumping syndrome, it just get worse. And I don't want to scare anybody, but when I had my episode of the early dumping syndrome, the early stage, it's probably like I said, about 30 minutes later, I just felt hot all over. My body just got hot, and my stomach started cramping. I just felt nauseous. I felt lightheaded, and I felt like I had to throw up and do number two at the same time. So it hits you quick. So only thing you can do is like go to the bathroom and just relieve yourself. So basically, I was on the toilet with my head in the trash can those two times. But for me, with the dumping syndrome, you just got to see it through. And that's exactly what I did. I just seen it through. So, of course, I'm on the toilet doing number two and throwing up. Sometimes, I think the first time it was both. The second time, I just felt like I wanted to throw up, but I didn't throw up. And like after you get done, like throwing up and pooping, my body was still hot. So what I did was, which I already had all my clothes off, I just laid on the floor, laid on my bathroom floor because it's cold. It's a cold floor. And so when I laid on the floor, that right there just, it relieved me of, because at the same time, while I'm having stomach cramps, I'm vomiting, I'm pooping, I'm also feeling lightheaded, I'm feeling dizzy, like the room is kind of spinning. So it was a lot going on. And then even after, my body was like, okay, I'm done expelling everything, but your body is still like, I'm hot. And on top of that, your heart is racing too. So only thing I could think of was like, I need to lay down. I couldn't make it to my bed. So I was like, forget it. I'm laying right here on this floor. And when I laid on the floor, I slowed my breathing down, to pace my heart. And eventually, probably like 5 to 10 minutes later, I just felt back normal. it was the weirdest first time that I ever, it was a weird first time. The second time I was like, okay, I already know what's going on. But that first time it was so weird. I'm like, what? Like, I just feel back, like after everything was done and I seen it through, everything was like back to normal. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And then at first I heard of dumping syndrome, of course, when we was doing when we had the meetings that we had to go through. I mean, she mentioned dumping syndrome, and of course, you listening but not really listening to the meetings or whatever. Well, the group support, is that what they call it? And like, I didn't really get a full understanding until I had it. And then after I had it, I did research and I was like, oh, okay, so that what really happened. So, and I mean, I guess you could take some ammonium AD before you eat or whatever, but I just seen through. That's basically all I did. Just saw it through. Also, besides the dumping syndrome, in that moment it was horrible, but it was okay. But I do, to this day, I do have episodes of where I get lightheaded. Like when I'm getting up out the bed, I get lightheaded because I'm getting up too quick. And what I usually do is just get on up and just have my eyes closed until I mellow out, which is kind of weird, but also that's what works for me. It might be different for you if you have gone through it, or if you're thinking about going through it, or in the process of going through it. You know, everybody is different. Everybody don't have the same outcome, and everybody have a different story. So it just, hopefully your body doesn't do you like my body did me. But my body didn't really do me that bad. In my eyes, it didn't do me that bad. But yeah, every now and then, being lightheaded, it affects me more than normal. But I push through it, so it's okay. So for me, I think the reason why I get lightheaded so much is because my blood pressure runs way lower than what it used to now, what it used to be. So for my blood pressure, I used to run like between 115 to like 130, 140 for the top number, and like 80 to 95 for the bottom number of your blood pressure. And now every time I get my blood pressure checked, it's always like in the 100 to 110 range. It rarely get, I say 100 to 105 range, and my bottom number always be like a 60, like in the 60 range. And I think that's kind of what's contribute to most of the time of me being lightheaded, is because my blood pressure be low when I'm getting up and stuff like that. So that could be it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just guessing. I mean, of course, you know yourself better than anybody know yourself. So that's what I'm gonna say it is. But other than that, I haven't had any other kind of bad side effects from the surgery. Everything has been pretty good, and so hopefully I didn't scare anybody with the dumping syndrome. But it's something that happened to people. People may get it, you may not get it, but yeah, it's a thing. So this is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching this channel, and to all my subscribers, hey. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like, what you waiting on? And also down in the description, like I said before, there's a link down there for all my other social media platforms. And if you want to follow me on those as well. See you in the next video. Bye guys.